Hi everyone, welcome to Ohm Studio. In this video, we are going to show you how we made a sterling silver surfer. We started by importing the 3D model into a 3D printing preparation tool. We then built supports around the 3D model. You can think of supports as scaffolding. They are used during the printing process to ensure the printability of the part and then later removed. Once supports were built, we sliced the supported 3D model in 2 layers. The white area on the right-hand side of the screen shows what each layer looks like from top to bottom. We are now ready to send this 3D model to our Resin 3D printer. The 3D printer will print the model upside down, from bottom to top, layer by layer. After a successful print, the model has to be washed, inspected, and cured under UV light. The supports now can be removed at any point, but be careful not to touch the uncured model with your bare hands, since it is a serious safety hazard. Once the model is cured, it is safe to touch. Everything looks good, and now we can 3D print it again in castable resin. This is the final 3D printed model after we remove the supports. Next, I'm gonna let Ken show you how to cast this 3D printed model in sterling silver.
Here we can see our resin model sprued up and ready for the next step, which will be investing. Now I'm mixing the investment. As far as the mix time and work time here, you're going to see it sped up a little bit, but it's a very timely procedure. I have 8 minutes plus or minus to use this. It's very, very close. So I'll spend the first 2 minutes or so mixing. From that point, I'll start vacuuming out in the main bowl as you're seeing here. I'll do that for probably a minute in itself. You can start to see some of those bubbles coming out of the liquid. It's very important we're using distilled water in this process as well. You don't want any foreign contaminants in the water. Now I'm pouring it into the perforated flask. We're going to fill that right to the top and put that back into the vacuum machine for another few minutes. And what I'll do is I'll turn the machine on, bring up the vacuum pressure. You'll see it start to boil over a bit. And then as soon as it gets to the top, I'll take it down. I'll do that over the course of probably 4 or 5 minutes on itself, on its portion of the 8 minutes. And then there's the final product. After the investment is cured, it goes into the kiln for a number of hours. Once the burnout's complete, I'll usually let it sit for roughly 1 hour inside the kiln just to stabilize the temperature at the very center of the flask itself. Once that's done, I will get it onto the vacuum machine, make sure I have a proper vacuum going on. Of course, I have to correspond my molten metal at the same time. It usually takes me about 15 to 20 minutes, depending, and I'll get ready to pour. The pour is essential. You have to do it very smooth. Too slow and you're not going to get in. Too fast and you'll spill it all over the place and you'll get an incomplete. Once the colors come down a little bit on the molten metal, I'll turn off the vacuum, release it, and pull it. Take off the little gasket I've used to create a better seal, and let that sit for no less than 15 minutes. As you're quenching, it's going to make a pretty big mess, so be prepared. We can hear it just sizzling down as it cools down. And that's going to start loosening up the investment so we can get in there with I like to use a butter knife. I've also used a wood chopstick, but that'll let me get in there and start pushing out some of that investment, and we can see if we get the final product. Start cleaning up that model here, and we can see it's a clean casting. The color of the metal came out good. I don't see any major flaws, no porosity. I think we can work with that. This is cleaned up a little bit more. You still see a little bit of investment on the back side of it and everything, but we're just doing an inspection, getting ready to go to the next portion, which will be cleaning, polishing, antiquing. I'll use the hand polisher with a little 3M polishing wheel or a felt brush or any number of attachments until I get it to the basic condition that I'm looking for, and then I'll finish it off in a rotary tumbler with stainless steel media in it. That does a lot of the work for me, which is great when you have a lot of pieces that you want to do. Depending on the finish that I want, I'll leave it in the tumbler for anywhere from 20 minutes to 4 hours. And there's the final product there. A nice burnished, high polished silver surfer.